Let's get to the complaints this week, everybody. Some lady just absolutely lost her mind, hates my guts now, and won't listen to this podcast anymore. And I apologize to her, but she says she's not listening anymore. There's no way that she's listening, despite that she wrote like a 5-page email that I'm now going to read. She has a huge problem with me, everybody. So settle in. Want me to wait? You want to go down to the break room, go get yourself a little coffee cake? I can wait. I'm on vacation. I got nothing better to do. Go ahead. I'll wait. Fucking dog's been farting all day today. I don't know what its deal is, and it keeps looking at me like, dude, you got to help me out. And I keep going to take it outside, and then it just sniffs the grass. And then I bring it back in, it starts farting again, and it keeps looking at me like, dude, I'm really trying not to shit on your rug. Like, I mean, that's how I'm reading her face. I think that's what she's saying. I have no idea. So anyways, here we go. Subject, your podcast is hate speech. Oh, Jesus. Bill, you probably won't read this. Or if you do, you will just dismiss me as a stupid cunt whore. But no matter. See, right there, she's already draped herself in the I'm brave and I'm going to plow ahead flag. Your podcast, as of late, has morphed into hate speech. You used to be funny, and I could brush off your hateful comments with a cringe and a shrug. Now, wait a minute. If they were hateful right along, why would you... okay, let's just plow ahead. But now you've gone too far for me. To feature a segment on your podcast devoted to the deplorable behavior of women is intolerable. For those of you new to my podcast, I've been doing this segment, which I think is hilarious and needs to be done, just to get you caught up before this lady gives me both barrels here, because believe me, she does. There's a bunch of shows out there that shine a light on men who beat their women, those pieces of shit, right? Trying to stop them from that behavior. There's a bunch of shows out there that will talk about how who are these guys, to say what a woman could do with her body. They'll talk about the glass ceiling, the old boys network, and all that type of stuff, and they shine a light on all of that. Okay? Which they should, because that is guys doing things that they should not be doing that is not fair to women. Okay? But my problem is not that they do that. My problem is that they never shine a light on shit that women do that is not fair to men. So recently, if I can drape myself in some sort of brave flag, I've been reading these stories about guys who are married. Their wife goes out, cheats on them, has unprotected sex, has a kid with another fucking guy, doesn't tell their husband, and that by the time he figures it out, he has to pay child support for a kid that isn't even his, and it's totally legal. And then I had the audacity to say that a woman who would do that to her husband is a cunt. Evidently, that's hateful speech towards all women, according to this person. All right? Because she continues. And oh, does she ever continue. To feature a segment on your podcast devoted to the deplorable behavior of women is intolerable. How is that any different than someone spending 20 minutes a week on a different podcast featuring the deplorable behavior of black people? Why do they always go to black people? That's just like calling me the N-word. This is no difference than slavery. That's people in other groups always do that. Always do that. All right, give me a goddamn break. All right, that she goes. Women are. I mean, how is that different? How is what I'm doing any different by featuring a segment of women who are doing something absolutely reprehensible to men? How is that any different than a show that focuses on men doing anything reprehensible to women? When they show wife beaters, I don't look at that like, oh my God, they're saying I'm doing it too. I think, you know something? I really think you're being really selfish here. And the fact that you could sit here and listen to my podcast for this long as I've gone off on fat people. I mean, Jesus Christ, you want to talk about hate speech? How much shit have I talked about Peyton Manning, despite the fact I can't even throw a football? You know? If he sent me an email, I would understand. And I bet it wouldn't even be as crazy as this. She says, women are treated like second-class citizens all over the world. When did I ever say they weren't? And even still in this country. Yet you have no problem inciting further hate and disgust towards your fellow human beings on this earth. How am I inciting hate? when shows show wife beaters, is that inciting hatred towards men? If you look at those shows and that makes you hate all men, then you're a moron. So basically what you're saying is that I'm a moron and that all my listeners are morons. That if I call a woman who cheats on her husband, has a baby with another guy, and makes her husband pay for that, if I call her a cunt, that means I'm calling all women cunts? You know, is that what you're saying? Are you saying we're all that stupid? She said, right now there are men, and that is written in capital letters, M-E-N, men, in this country still, capital S-T-I-L-L, discussing whether or not women should have the right to contraception and abortions. Yeah, I understand that. And those people freak me out. Those people freak me out, and I am a guy. And I've never said that a woman shouldn't have a right to that. So I don't know what you're talking about. This has nothing to do. I'm talking about these fucking whores that cheat on their husbands. Man, you know what I love about all this? How come you don't address what I talked about? How come I can't hear? What do you think about a woman who would do something like that? I saw a stat the other day that said 13% of kids in this country are not with their biological father. Meaning not just like, you know, that their wife got like divorced and then remarried. They mean like there's a guy either knows or doesn't know. Like the woman had a kid with somebody else while they were married. Like 13% of kids. I mean, that means 80% of women are on the up and up. All right? God bless them. They're angels. But that 13% needs to be taken to task. I mean, I mean, how many guys are beating women? I would guess it'd probably be right around that same, you know, maybe a little higher. I have no idea. Let's say it's 20. Let's say 20% of guys beat their women. Should they not be called out and be called cowardly pieces of shit? You know? And if you call them cowardly piece of shit, would I have a right to sit there and look at that and be like, well, that's now you're inciting further hate and disgust toward all men? You're being really selfish here, man, because I go off on everybody. This podcast is over the top, and it's crazy. I call guys cunts on this podcast, and you're being really selfish right now. And now, you make this big, long speech, and then you're going to take your ball and go home. Look at this. Look at all she's bringing up here. Women still earn only 70 cents for every dollar a man earns. I think you guys should make the same amount. But I also don't think that number is accurate, $77. 77 cents for every dollar that a man earns. Because if you include divorce settlements, you get to keep your 77 cents plus his 50%, his 50 cents. So then he's down to 50, and then you're up to $1.37. See, that's what I'm talking about right there. Go fuck yourself, you oversensitive jackass. Good Lord. Go buy a bigger bra. I don't know what your fucking problem is. I hope that bugged you, too, that I said that. That was deliberately supposed to be offensive, all right? So go fucking write a letter to fucking cunthair.com because I don't give a shit, all right? In short, we are still not equal to our male counterparts, and we will forever be labeled the weaker sex. Well, with that attitude, of course you will. You know? I don't think you're the weaker sex. I think that that's all a myth. I think that actually makes you stronger. You know, because guys are fucking idiots, and they think because they can do more push-ups than their woman that they're actually, you know, that makes them smarter. You know? I don't know. Oh, my fucking doorbell's ringing. Are you serious? Hang on a second. I got to go up here, and then I gotta read the rest of this. Hold on. All right, so I'm back. Little winded, but I'm back. So anyways, blah, 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 blah. It just keeps going on and on and on and on. Where the hell is it? Where the hell was I? Weaker sex, and then she tries to break me down psychologically about my mom not hugging me. If that's the case, then I'm sorry for you. I hate when people do that. It's like, you're not sorry for me. You hate me right now, okay? So stop acting like you're really sorry for me and you're showing some sort of empathy. You're not showing empathy. You're being really selfish. Like I said, I go off on everything here. I've never said that a woman should make the same amount an hour as a guy. I never said that a guy should be able to hit a woman. I've never said that. What the thing I'm trying to shine a light to is that some of these divorce settlements are absolutely fucking ridiculous. And that when a woman cheats on a guy and has a kid with another person, and then the poor sap who married her has to pay for that, you don't think that's fucked up? Howard Stern just did a great story on it last week. Somebody sent me an email. He did a story about a guy who was in that situation, and he refused to pay the child support, and they said, we're going to send you to jail. He's going to go to jail because his wife cheated on him, had unprotected sex. Hey, to hell with AIDS. Let's roll the dice with my husband's life, right? Has unprotected sex, has a kid. He doesn't realize it, figures it's his because it's his wife's pregnant. Why would he think that it's somebody else's? He starts making the payments. Next thing you know, he starts raising the kid, figures out it's not his kid, and has a natural reaction. I don't want to pay for that. And the law is just like, no, you have to pay for it. Let me ask you this, ma'am. Do you have any empathy for that? You seem to have all this empathy for women and women's issues. And somehow I'm supposed to still respect you, despite the fact that you could give a fuck if there's injustices done on the other side. It doesn't make any sense. And I want to see, this is focusing on this issue. This is an issue for some reason that is just not talked about whatsoever. It's just sort of accepted. And I think it's absolutely deplorable. I think it's deplorable. So I have the right to talk about it. You know what I mean? And if you want to get offended and you want to be selfish and just be like, well, that isn't fair. What if I had a whole segment every week and all I did was talk about wife beaters? You know what? You'd probably send me an email. I just want you to tell you, I love your podcast even more. You are a hero to hear a man out there just letting these cowardly pieces of shit know that you'd be fucking over the moon about it. But now all of a sudden, I'm talking about women who are doing shit that you're not even doing. At what point in any of these stupid fucking rants that I've done have I ever said that all women are doing this? I never have. I never said that all women cheat on their husbands and have a kid out of wedlock. I didn't. All right? Do I make generalizations? Abso-fucking-lutely. It's a comedy. I paint with a broad brush. I'm fucking around, okay? Jesus fucking Christ. Stop being so goddamn selfish, okay? And if you don't want to listen to my podcast, don't listen to my podcast anymore. And other than that, go fuck yourself. I don't know. What she's doing is a pet peeve that I have. That happens to me sometimes when I do shows, and at the end of my shows, someone will come up to me and just be like, look, I have a good sense of humor, but subject whatever. My fucking phone. They'll just be like, you know what? That's never funny. That is never. Oh, the lovely Nia, everybody. Hang on one second. Hello. Hey, I'm taping my podcast right now. Is this urgent? Are you on the side of the road? We got AAA. No, the dog was farting, and I thought it had to shit in the house, so I took it outside, and then it just sniffed around and peed. Yeah, it was a pain in the ass. So I'm going to get back to the podcast, all right? All right, I'll tell you in a half. All right, bye. Anyways. Oh, and then she goes on to say that the terms I use will then cause, people to use as I fuck around and use these terms, she then thinks that people are going to use them seriously. You know what I mean? And I'm sure a few will, but that's not on me. Somebody who does that, it's because you're a moron. And it's not my responsibility to fucking babysit anybody once they're an adult. If you don't know not to call women these terms, okay? Although, I will tell you this. If, there is a time to call a woman a cunt, okay? And that's when you find out that your son is not your son. And you still have to pay for it. There's a reason that word does exist. All right? All right there, sweetheart. So I hope you come back to the podcast. I hope that you actually listen and will respond. And I don't want to hear another fucking word out of you unless you tell me what you think about those kinds of fucking women who do that, okay? And stop bringing up slavery and all this other shit and trying to drag all this other crap into it, all right? You stay in your own goddamn lane, sweetheart. All right? Good Lord. To compare yourself not being able to vote to being enslaved, really? That's another one that's a whole nother fucking topic. Every fucking person out there just tries to fucking jump on that. That's our N-word. Oh, go fuck yourself. Anyways. I can't believe you just did that. Why did you flick that Bic right in my face? You burned off 2 eyebrow hairs. That's my Dresden.
Hey, by the way, what did you think about all that? They've been asking the whole time they were going through. People were asking me about the whole Conan Tonight Show, Leno Tonight Show, that whole thing. Like, what you thought about all of that? What are your feelings?
Here I come with my typical glowing positivity.
Okay.
I think it is a high watermark of the end of entertainment as we know it. When a move like that gets pulled, they have stepped so far over the line that they have ever stepped over before.
Right.
The audacity of it. They've set a new standard for how much they are willing to fuck you. And all I could think the whole time was, if they'll fuck Conan, what goddamn chance do I have?
I know.
What chance do I have?
That was the classic. Well, welcome to L.A., pal. That's how it fucking goes. I just think that, I don't know. Conan is like, I came up on Letterman and Conan. So when, it was Letterman, I'd watch Letterman and then I watched Conan. And then when Conan came up, like, I just feel he got fucked because they never gave him the Tonight Show in that, when Jay got the Tonight Show, he didn't have to follow Johnny Carson bombing for an hour doing a watered-down version of the Tonight Show. Like, I get why Jay doesn't want to leave. I get that part, but I just feel like Conan got fucked on that whole ratings thing where, Jay was going, he wasn't getting the ratings. He wasn't getting the ratings. We're doing that whole passive-aggressive, I was just doing what management said.
Right. He's such a fucking company, man.
Well, the thing about him is if he would just come out and just be like, look, I had a number 1 show. I wasn't looking to retire, and when they asked me to retire, if he just owned up to what he did, and if he just said, look, yeah, I didn't want to retire, and I just fucked, and they didn't think I was going to be number 1 in 5 years, and I'm like, well, I'll fucking show them. And then when the time is perfectly right, I'm going to say, guess what? I'm not retiring, because that's a great fucking business move. That's what he did. If he just owned up to that and said, like, yeah, and I want to get my fucking show back, if he just owned up to it, rather than acting so powerless, like, management came and talked to me and they said, we want you to leave in 5 years. And I said, okay, if that's what you want me to do, and just keeps doing that shit, that's where that dude becomes annoying, because anybody with half a brain could be like, can realize that it didn't go down like that. I just think Conan got fucked because, Leno got 18 months. He struggled for 18 months before he got going, and he got to go on after a hit show. He got to go on after ER. I mean, it'd be like, Joe, how do you think you would do if a comic went on before you and walked half the room? And then you go on stage, and it's like you got to spend half your show just trying to turn it into a show again. And I think NBC's making a huge mistake because they're creating a generation gap, because it's going to go from a 60-year-old guy down to a 35-year-old guy, and it's like there's nobody from my generation.
Well, it's
I'm going to start watching Kimmel.
I like Kimmel.
I never watched him just because I always watched Letterman, and then I would watch Conan, but then, him coming out dressed as Jay and shit, it was funny. And I'm like, I like this guy.
Kimmel's good. I like Ferguson a lot, and I think Letterman's still funny.
Yeah, I love Letterman. I like. I never watch. I gotta admit, I never watched Colin Ferguson because I'm kind of a racist.
Craig Ferguson.
Sorry, I never watched.
Racist? What do you mean?
Yeah, I just hear that accent, and I'm like, yeah. When did you go back to fucking Brussels?
Brussels.
He's from Scotland.
Yeah, I think Scotland. I think it's Scotland.
Folks,
right? Folks.
Yeah.
I can't. I was gonna try to ad-lib. I can't. I got nothing.
No, you should. But I gotta tell you, the way Conan went out, his last show was great. It was totally positive. He gave this inspirational speech that wasn't corny, and then in the end, he had Will Ferrell come out dressed as Ronnie Van Zant. I think that's the right name, the lead singer of Lynyrd Skynyrd, and they did Freebird, and he came out and played, and Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top, Jeff Beck, and that fucking black dude that everybody likes.
Stevie Wonder?
No.
James Brown?
No. He hangs out with that other white dude who fucking plays an acoustic guitar.
Sherrod Small.
But it's keep going. Not as black as that. A little lighter. Come on, man.
Keith Robinson.
No, he plays an acoustic guitar.
Babyface.
There's not a lot of them.
Babyface.
God damn it.
John Mayer.
Who's the guy who fucking? He's the white dude. He's not Dave Matthews. He plays.
John Mayer.
No.
Eric Clapton.
Do you know John Mayer? I always buy Rolling Stone when I fly. You know, I just read it, whatever, try to keep up on, you know, whatever the fuck they're saying is good music. And they had on the picture a shirtless John Mayer. And I want to say he had at least one of his arms behind his head. And I was just like, you know, I can't fucking buy that. And that's one of those guys where he's constantly going on TV trying to address why people are saying he's a douchebag, and then he just continues to do stuff where he's lobbing it over the net to be called a douchebag. I mean, maybe he has no sense of how you come off, but, you know, I got a lot of balls talking about that level of fame, but I know goddamn well, Joe, that if I ever posed shirtless on a fucking magazine cover and I wasn't doing it as a joke, I can't answer my phone for at least fucking 6 months because everything's gonna be you fucking fag, you fucking douchebag. It's gonna be all of that. I'm not saying the dude is a bad guy, but his just complete confusion as to why people continue to come at him like that. It's like, okay, first of all, every fucking hot chick from 14 to 44 wants to bang you. Right there, the jealousy of all guys involved. Right there, there's a certain amount of, just out of jealousy, are going to think that you're a douchebag.
Right.
Okay? But then if you add that shit.
Jesus Christ, dude. It's so funny. Why do you keep calling me a douchebag? Hold on, more fucking glitter around the eyes. I want more glitter around the eye.
He's not that bad. But
I know.
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
Is he's actually a fucking great guitarist. If he would just, like, it's like, dude, did Stevie Ray Vaughan, he's got a Stevie Ray Vaughan tattoo on his shoulder. It's like, did Stevie Ray Vaughan ever fucking do that? The only thing he was missing, he should have just been in, like, a backyard with, like, one of those rope swings. Or, I don't even know what the fuck it is.
Swinging from a tire?
Yeah, just... No, but then that would have been funny. Like, I literally, I don't know if this means I'm, like, homophobic, I couldn't buy the fucking magazine. Just
How
because...
could you?
And, the lovely Nia, everybody. Look at you lingering over there. Are you leaving?
Yeah.
Are you going to, come here, you going to go see Creed?
Yeah.
Nia's like one of the only black people ever into that band.
No.
Yeah. Don't you like them? What did they sing about? Jesus Christ on the cross and then he got stabbed in the side again.
No, not
what,
Creed the band.
What did Creed sing?
Creed the movie. I don't know.
If you can sing a Creed song, I'll take you out for an ice cream.
Okay. Can you take me higher?
Oh, that's right. That wasn't bad. Can you take
where? I don't know what he says.
Yeah.
Is that like power rock? Is that considered power rock? Those kind of bands where like the lead singer is just like just like this really.
Anytime they say power associated with music, there's no power in it. Hey, and enjoy the movie. I wish I was going to go see it.
Well, you know what time it is. I text you all the information.
Do you mean literally what time it is? Or are you saying that in like a black way? Like, you know what time it is? Oh, Jesus, she hates me. Depressed dude. A Billy cunt! Exclamation point. I've been listening to your podcast for years. Your deranged, psychopathic perspective reminds me I'm not the only one shaking ladders. I don't know what that means. Is this guy from Boston? I've been listening to the podcast for years. Your deranged, psychopathic perspective reminds me I'm not the only one shaking ladders, kid. Nah, it still doesn't sound, even if in the accent. Shaking ladders. I don't know what that means. Anyways, I got a problem. You know, I was in Boston all last week, so the Boston accent kind of came back. The whole, I got a problem. Instead of saying, get a job. Dude, he needs to get a job. And for those of you working on your Boston accents, J-O-B, just say like jaw, like I'm going to punch you in the jaw, and then B, job. Got to get a fucking job. You know what kills me right now is like fucking 200 of you right now just muttering to yourself, get a fucking job. in your cubicle. Freaking out your coworkers, just mumbling. Get a fucking job. You fucking cocksucker. I got a problem. For years now, I've been trapped in my KFC and wet wipes. Okay, that's disgusting. I used to be a bodybuilder, an actor, and a comedian with fucking prospects right in front of me. But then adulthood raped me in the eyes. Oh, Jesus. Could you be more dramatic? This sounds like that fucking chick from Sex and the City. Crazy broad broke my heart. This is the guy again. Crazy broad broke my heart. I had to cut away old friends and family, shutting me out of their smiles. All right, dude, this is like getting creepier with each sentence. If you don't bring this around in like 2 sentences, I'm going to abandon this. I had to cut away from old friends and family, shutting me out of their smiles. Dude, what did you do that your friends and family decided they didn't want to be around you? Anyways, I don't feel sorry for myself or want any pity. You're not going to get any. So good. I'm glad you don't. He goes, I just want to know how to get out of this never-ending routine of demise. Well, first of all, I would stop using those goth death metal words. You know, demise. What else you got in here? Adult raped me in the eyes. These are like song lyrics? You know? Depressed dude. What would be the name of this? Trapped in my KFC and wet wipes. Right? That sounds like I can't sing like that. Rape me in the eyes. This routine of demise. All these fucking kids getting like fucking whiplash. I worked too much in a job that was supposed to pay for my comedy career when I don't work. I was supposed to pay for my comedy career when I don't work. When I don't work, I sleep or watch endless DVDs. I'm 24 years old. Oh, what the fuck? This reads like you're 56, dude. He goes, I'm tired all the time from all the hating of the world, and my body just won't listen to the screaming frustration in my soul. Dude, you listen to progressive metal, I'm guessing, by the words you use here. Either that or you play Dungeons and Dragons. I'm really not helping your depression by shitting on you through all of this. Don't worry, I'm going to give you some sunshine here in the end here. So I sometimes get a spark of motivation to get back in shape and start writing script, but it only lasts for a day or two at the most. Yeah, exactly. And then the work comes, and you have to keep going. And that's what separates the people in life who fucking work and make it and those who don't. You know? Everything's fun for a couple of fucking days. I'm going to get shredded. I'm going to join a boxing gym. I'm going to look like I'm going to fight in a title fight. You go down there, you skip rope. I'm going to get abs. You're doing all the fucking shit. And 2 days in, after 2 days, you get tired. All right? And that's where you need the discipline to get up and go over there even though you don't want to. You know? People who've written Oscar-winning scripts, I bet they don't like fucking doing it on a certain level. But they keep going. So I would just tell you to keep fucking going. Anyways, let me read the rest of this overly dramatic shit. I've lost all faith in the world, have nothing to fight for anymore. I respect your go fuck yourself attitude and want to know what you did to finally pick yourself up from your darkest inflicted depression. Sorry it's not the funniest emails, but I could really do with you guys. I know, dude. I'm fucking with you. I know you're going through some shit. So here we go. I'm going to help you out here. First thing I would do, get rid of the KFC and wet wipes. All right? If you're already kind of a depressed dude, if you eat bad food, that's just going to add, because I'm just speaking personally. Once again, not a licensed guy here in case you throw yourself off the fucking roof, all right? Yeah, number one, this is what I do. Go out and get something healthy to eat. Drink some water, okay? Get 8 hours sleep, wake up and eat something healthy. Then go to the grocery store when you're full and go buy a bunch of healthy shit. Okay? Chop up the veggies, chop up the lettuce, get a fucking salad already made in there so you don't have to think about it. All right? Cook up some fucking chicken, chop that shit up, make some chicken salad. You got that in there too. Get yourself some fucking lunch meat and get yourself some real bread from a fucking bakery. Start with that bullshit. You start eating right and then just start working out. You're automatically going to feel good about yourself and fucking stick with that. As far as that other shit goes, dude, you're 24 years old. All right? I started comedy when I was 24. You sound like you've already been doing it and quit. So you're ahead of where I was at your age. So there's no reason to be depressed. All right? This is how I got beyond my depression was I just started observing it. I looked at it as a spectator rather than feeling a thought and just accepting it and then being dragged to the bottom of the fucking ocean with it. I just started to pay attention. I just sat there and listened to what my brain was telling me. And it was a bunch of negative, oh my God, I'm going to fail. I'm going to have to go back, move in with my parents, and they're going to die. I'm not going to be able to afford to pay for the house, and then I'm going to be homeless, and then I'm just going to die. And, nothing's ever going to work out for me, Those were the thoughts I was having. So I just sat back and observed them, and I just started going, I don't want to think that. I want to think that. And I would just, as I felt them coming, I would just replace it with like a positive thought. I know this is really corny and simple, but I kind of started doing that. And the more I did that, because it didn't quite work. Actually, it didn't work in the beginning at all, but like I just kept doing it more and more. And then I just became conscious of when my brain was going in that direction. And working out helps me. Eating right helps me. Going down to a comedy club, telling jokes helps me out. Playing drums, wrestling with my dog, taking Nia out to dinner. Just go do something like it's just a choice. July 30th, it's only going to happen once. Am I going to fucking be a miserable cunt on this? Or like I said, July 30th, 2012 is only going to happen once. It's just a fucking choice, dude. So, if what you're dealing with is clinical, then it's obviously way beyond me. So I don't need, and then I don't have to fucking apologize like Fred Willard. I'm sorry that you didn't go to a psychiatrist and you went to a hacky comedian instead. Evidently, that's my fault. My wife always sits down and she wants to watch dumb TV. She goes, can I just sit down and watch dumb TV? And it's that fucking Kardashian shit, which has been on a goddamn loop. That shit the other day, okay? And it was on, they got enough episodes now. It's like the fucking Simpsons, where you can just do a whole weekend of nothing but the Simpsons. You can do that with the Kardashians now. So she just kept watching them and watching them. And I had to get up and walk into the bedroom and close the door. The show, it literally puts me in a fucking bad mood. I know that there's a clip I just saw on Facebook. Of course I'm on Facebook. I'm a white guy in my 40s. I love Facebook. As much as the youngsters hate it. Everything that they hate about it, I fucking love about it. But anyways, there's some local news show or whatever, and this guy just fucking sums up. He snaps. He completely loses his composure and just says, like, nobody gives a fuck about this stupid fucking family. And then these two chicks laughing. One of them agrees. And then the other like, just breathe. Just breathe. Like, that makes it better. It's like, just enough already. My wife has it on so much, I'm actually starting to understand. Like the dude, who looks like a fucking mannequin. He's got perfect hair, perfect white teeth. He's always walking around in a suit, but he's never at work. And I finally just sit there and go, what the fuck does that guy do for a living? And they're like, nobody really knows. Nobody knows what he does. He's always walking around like, dressed like Bud Fox. And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting sucked into this thing. So I just went into the other room. It's just an endless fucking pursuit. They're just constantly traveling. I love like when they go to the Dominican Republic and do they interact with the people? They go right to the fucking resort and they're sitting next to a fucking infinity pool. You know what I mean? It's like, why didn't you just stay home? You already live in that climate, you dumb fucks. Let me tell you about the time I went to the Dominican Republic. I went there and they took us. Nice. Oh, fumble. Get that motherfucker, you fat fuck. That's not yours. God damn that fat fuck. He landed right on it. Probably thought it was a pork shoulder. Oh, great. And we get hurt. Wonderful. For fuck's sakes. Anyways, so I go to Dominican Republic with the wonderful lady I was dating at the time. Fucked that relationship up as I did everyone until I met my lovely wife. And we stayed at a resort, right? We show up, and I got there, and within you see how people are living as you're driving there. And you're like, holy fuck. It was my first time in a so-called third world country. I didn't know what the fuck that means. It just always means it's a bunch of broke people. I don't know. So I fucking it was staggering. I saw a couple of nice houses and everything else was like a fucking tin shack. And we're fucking blowing by all this poverty. And you're taking it all in. It's an absolute shock when you're a spoiled ass fucking American. All right? I don't give a fuck what your situation is in this country. For the most part, you're living like a fucking king compared to this stuff, right? So we end up getting to the resort, and then all of a sudden, everybody has on like these fucking Hawaiian shirts, saying hello, asking to take your bags, and it's like, am I supposed to forget what the fuck I just saw? So the entire time I'm on this vacation, what's funny about the resort is there's like literally like a prison wall all the way around the whole fucking thing. And you just feel it. You just felt it. Like late at night, if I get too close to that wall, somebody is going to reach over it, yank me over it, and no one's ever going to see me again, because that's the level of desperation down here. And my favorite part / the scariest part of the trip was we actually went horseback riding, and we went to a cave where there was water. You went to the water, you had to go underwater and then come up to the other side of the different cave. I know this sounds like a fucking Hardy Boys episode, but we actually did it. And I remember the tour guide who took us, I had to stop at his fucking house. So I am sitting there in the front passenger seat of his car, as everybody is looking at me, basically the whitest motherfucker on the planet. And I had to sit there like, are they looking at me like, Jesus Christ, how often do you see a redheaded white dude down here? Were they looking at me like a white elephant? Or were they looking at me like, God knows what our foreign policy did, and now they're in that situation? I had no fucking idea. But it was definitely, I don't know. But I was still glad I did it. I still went out and interacted. I actually gave the horseback thing and the cave shit. I actually was giving money to people outside of that fucking resort. It didn't feel right. Does that make any sense? I don't fucking know. I'm watching the fucking game here. All right, Trump. Dear Billy-elect, I don't agree with everything Trump says, but I wholeheartedly believe that he's the only person that can set this country on a course of honesty. I'd rather know what a guy is actually thinking and disagree than to not know what he's thinking and to have faith. What are your thoughts? Says Phone Store Girl. Oh, no, sorry, that's the next one. I 100% agree. That's why even though he said all that stupid shit about Mexicans, to just, having a white, like, the thing about that guy, the shit he says about Mexicans and stuff, like, is fucked up as it is. It's like, that's what a white guy who's lived on the top floor of a skyscraper, that's the kind of shit, that's the way they think. I've been to the border. Oh, yeah, did you fucking drive by in your air-conditioned SUV for fucking 20 minutes? You don't know what you're talking about. I'm not trashing the guy. Like, dude, that fucking shit he said about the bankers again, I felt vindicated when he was going, like, when they were giving him shit for declaring bankruptcy. And he goes, I've done hundreds and hundreds of deals. 4 times I've taken advantage of the bankruptcy laws. By the way, they are laws, so he's not doing anything illegal. And he goes, and by the way, let's not make out these people that loan me money to be these innocent little daisies or whatever. He goes, they're not exactly innocent. He goes, these guys are killers. And he's 100% right. 100% fucking right. Having said all that, I mean, that money was also put in to the banks by mom and pop people, but it was printed out by the bankers. And it's really not our money. It's their money, and they give it to you, and your job's to get into as much debt as humanly possible without going under and paying those cunts for the rest of your fucking life. They are killers. But having said that, there's no way any one person could get this country in order. Because what would happen is if he got elected, he would threaten everybody else who got in the other way, and no one would work with him in a childish way, and then they would blame him, and then the guys who put the money behind all the politicians also own newspapers, and everyone would just smear Donald Trump, and then every fucking moron who thinks they know shit about politics would be like, see, it doesn't work. It doesn't fucking work. And it'll go right back to the way that they want it. To truly change any government, to truly fucking change when it's as corrupt as we are in most of the other governments, I'm not just shitting on my country, but as corrupt as we are, the only way to do it is you have to have literally a revolution, and people are going to die, and people are going to go on trial, and there's going to be fucking firing squads and all that type of shit. You don't just go like, hey, we've had enough, and then the people in power go, oh, okay. All right, here's the keys to the castle. Let's see how you do. Can I have a job? It doesn't go down like that. So, but I will say, that guy, Donald Trump is a fucking star. But I also liked, there was a couple other guys on the panel I liked. I liked Rand Paul, and then I liked the older fella there. What the fuck's his name? I can't remember. But that guy from Jersey is a fucking dope. He's just smart enough to seem smart, but at the end of the day, his big fucking roast beef head, he's a fucking dope. That guy should not go beyond the state level, but he will. He will. Anyways, I was somewhere killing time. Oh, yesterday when I was in Chicago, and I was in the hotel, and they had a marathon on of those doomsday preppers, and they were all fucked. Do you know why all those doomsday preppers are fucked? Is because they're loners. They might survive some initial shit. They might last a month. They might last a year. But they're just, instead of ripping the Band-Aid off like me and just getting fucking, bludgeoned to death within the first 24 hours or vaporized from something blowing up, that's my doomsday plan. My doomsday prepping that I do is that I live in probably the most dangerous city that you could possibly live in, as far as earthquakes, as far as the water supply, as far as the fucking inability to get the fuck out of there. I really should get a helicopter license and try to go on eBay and buy some fucking used chopper, because other than that, I'm fucked. But there's a piece that you gain from just being completely fucked. Is you just, what am I going to do? I'm fucked. All right? Oh, I got a great idea. I'm going to sell a doomsday prepper kit for people who don't want to prep. And what it's going to be a beautiful locket that you wear. They'll have a male one. It's a little more masculine. They'll put some spikes on it or some shit. For male or female. And when you open it up, there's one little cyanide pill in there. There you go. You just off yourself. The dollar's collapsing. There's fighting in the street. You just pop it in there. And that's it. It's over. You want to live and be on dead body patrol? Going out there with your fucking ski mask on, having to bury all those cunts before they give out disease? Because that's what you're going to be doing if you survive. If you're a low-level human like myself, where you're really not bringing anything to the table, if they let you survive, if they decide out of the fucking blue to let you survive, that's what you're going to be on. That's going to be your first fucking jobs. Other than getting naked and have them throw fucking lye all over you, whatever they fuck, lime? Is that what they throw at lye? Lime all over you to get rid of the body lice. Your job, you're going to go out there in some sort of Tarzan fucking bikini bottoms with that powdered sugar all over you, and you're going to just start, it's going to be it. So my suggestion is either get some cyanide or learn how to operate a backhoe. Because other than that, if you survive, you're going to be standing there with a shovel getting a fucking sunburn that the modern world has never seen. Anyways, I'm watching this doomsday prepper thing, and they got all these guys doing this shit, and they got this one dude who's just, he's got like fucking 3 years worth of shit. He's got flat screen TV. He's got all this fucking stuff down. I love the flat screen TV. That's hilarious to me. Like, it's the end of the world, but somehow cable still exists. Somehow somebody is at the head of Cable Central, wherever that is, flipping the switch so you can see the final 8 episodes of Breaking Bad, despite the fact everybody connected with Hollywood is now gone. except for Wesley Snipes. I'm sure he's got a bunker somewhere. Yeah, if you got the balls to not pay the government taxes, you definitely you have a strategy in place. Plus, just even if he didn't take martial arts, just the sword swinging alone that he had to learn, the choreography, that would scare the fuck out of most zombies, and they'd turn the other way, right? So he's got all of this stuff, and he's sitting there talking about he's still afraid of the Russians and a nuclear holocaust. He's been prepping for 30 years because that's basically what they used to scare the shit out of us about. I came in the tail end of it in the 70s, and this guy was older than me, so they psychologically fucked this guy up so bad that he was now, stockpiling this hole in the ground, and then he found out that recently declassified information said that the Russians had detonated some fucking, 200 megaton fucking something or other. The biggest bomb ever detonated, they did it. And he realized that he wasn't deep enough. So he went out and he bought this big steel fucking tube. And the whole time he's doing this guy is like 200 pounds overweight. And it's like, dude, you better deal with that first. Like, you're going to drop of a fucking heart attack before they drop a fucking bomb on us. And he finally addressed it. He said, I probably should get myself in better shape. Of course, he was sitting down the entire time. And even with the T-shirt on, the guy was so fucking fat, you could tell that he was finished. But so I actually liked the guy because he finally addressed the fact that he was out of shape and needed to do something about it. But towards the end, there was this 15-year-old kid who, since the age of 12... maybe he was a little bit older. When was 2008? That was 5 years ago. He was about 17. He was 12 when the 2008 banking collapse happened. So he went on the internet and he started reading up on banks and probably saw the conspiracy theory that I did, and it scared the fucking shit out of him as a 12-year-old. And this fucking kid has been like scavenging / stealing shit wherever he can because he doesn't have any money. And he has all these guns, and he has these fucking swords and shit. He dresses in fatigues and stuff. And his mother is just sitting there going like, I always wanted a normal son. I don't know why he feels he has to do this. And now he's brought a friend into a fold, and then they brought a friend into the fold, and he brought a third person into the fold. And it's literally like, lady, did you see Columbine? All right, I'm not saying this kid is like that, but like, what the fuck are you doing? Her big parental moment was he's not allowed to go to the gun range without her. She goes there and lets him practice, and this fucking kid was great. His spread was basically from, one ventricle to the fucking other. All right? Is there two ventricles, or is that an aorta? I don't fucking know. I'll Google map the heart at the end of this. Yeah, he was basically hitting it all center mass, right around your fucking heart, right? But then he goes home and he's got the ammo and he has the guns in his fucking bedroom, and he's like, I'm thankful to grow up with guns. He didn't even have a Southern accent. Why am I fucking trashing the South again? He had this fucking awful haircut. He didn't have a girlfriend. He's going down this rabbit hole, and she's just letting him do it. And I found it really disturbing. I don't find it disturbing when, like, I see those kids smiling and they have rifles and their parents have gotten them into hunting. I know people out where I live, and when I lived in New York City, they freak out about that stuff. Really intolerant of it. As they eat a fucking chicken burrito. But I don't. I think you should know how to hunt and do all that type of shit. You know what I know I could fucking kill? I could kill a pig, a wild boar. I would love to go out and do that. Fucking shoot that thing. Now I want to hear from the rednecks out there. What am I in for? If I miss and that thing comes up on me, don't they just start fucking eating you? They're pigs, right? They fucking eat anything. Would I scare them? Or would I look like one of those white chocolate-covered pretzels? They'd think my freckles were salt. They'd be all over it. Would it be okay? Can somebody, next time I do one of my southern tours here, can you guys take me pig hunting? And I want to fucking do it up. I'm going to go Rambo style with a crossbow, but I do want to have a backup Uzi. And I know, if you're a redneck, I know you have a fucking Uzi that's been fucking handed down since the 80s, whenever the fuck Uzis came out, before laws prevented you from getting them. It's for, I'm hunting quail. Is this America? Hey, what's going on? It's Bill Burr, and it's time for the Monday Morning Podcast from Monday, December 28th, 2015, the final Monday of 2015. All right, what are you going to do with it, huh? You going to take advantage of it? You going to get out there and fucking, huh? I just saw this really douchey commercial. I'm recording this Sunday while I'm watching the end of the Seattle game and watching the Packers get their fucking asses kicked by the Cardinals. I just saw this commercial, right? There's this lady. She's in her car, right? Cute as a button, driving along, and she's in this city, and she's like, there's over 2,460,317 people in this city, and only one me. And then she goes, I like those odds. And then this chick starts singing, this is my fucking fight, or whatever the fuck it said. This is stupid. I've never seen hype over absolutely nothing. Like, what do you mean you like those odds? Is there a way to improve those odds? Are you going to drive up on the sidewalk and try to lower the fucking numbers? Yeah, I like those. Yeah, I don't feel like fucking taking out anybody today. I guess I can live with that. Is this like the result of like sports, like athletes and rappers and stuff, shit talking? It's become such a part of the culture that you got to say something dumb like that. Like back in the day, you'd move to the city and you'd be like, oh, Jesus Christ, look at all these people.
Well, I put my head down and I give it the old college try, and hopefully things will work out for me and I could get my own little piece of the pie here, right? Now it's all going to be like, yeah, it's fucking 3 million people here, just me. Yeah, suck my dick. I can handle that.
You fucking driving down the street in your Ford Focus. The fuck are you talking about? What do you got in the trunk of your car that gives you that much confidence, huh? What do you got? You got some gold bars, huh? Anyways, I'm watching the end of the Seattle game here because I feel like the Seahawks are going to come back. You know, old Sneaky Pete. Everybody's fucking talking about this guy. They're talking about that guy. Slowly but surely, Seattle is clawing their way back into it. Hopefully they'll be on the road so we don't have to listen to how loud they are again. Look here in Seattle. It's such a loud stadium. Look how loud they are. You know what's weird about Seattle? You don't see one lumberjack in the fucking crowd, you know, with all the logging that goes on up there. It's a bunch of coffee drinking cunts wearing a little Kurt Cobain fucking goatee. You'd think every once in a while you'd find somebody actually wearing a flannel because they're a lumberjack, not because they're into Pearl Jam. That's all I'm saying. Did Eddie Vedder, did he used to cut down trees? How about Kurt Cobain? Did they used to do that stuff? Is that what they did? Is that why they dressed like that? Or were they mocking? Were they dressing like lumberjacks in an ironic way? And a foreshadowing of the hipster movement that took hold somewhere in the mid-2000s. Or maybe they were just cold. You know, it's always raining out there, and they have to sing. Maybe they wanted to protect their instrument. I don't fucking know. I saw a guy jogging down the street today in jeans and like these sneakers that were mocking running sneakers. And then he had a T-shirt on and this weird sort of tank top and the exact same haircut of people I used to see have in like 1975. You know, it was just like, you're trying really fucking hard. I don't understand it. I don't understand just your whole fucking wardrobe and your look is mocking another decade. Is that what it is? I don't know. I don't pretend to know. Anyways, let's talk a little sports here. As much as people can't fucking stand, a lot of people can't stand. I don't give a shit.
You know, I don't have any advertising this week, okay? That's what it's come down to. You know? Me being a smart aleck and all of these fucking ads, right? And then you guys egging me on. Oh, yeah, I'm blaming you. You guys egging me on. You know, I can't walk away from a fucking easy laugh. Now look at me. I'm ending the year empty-handed. 60 minutes of podcasting and no advertising. And only just one me. I like those odds. What a fucking douche. Ugh, good Lord. I'd rather eat glass than fucking have to watch that whole fucking YOLO. You know how we do. Ugh, everything is so fucking important. Me and my bros. Oh, don't I just sound like an angry old man? I'm not actually. I'm actually got my feet up. I'm drinking a Miller. I'm having a good time. There's a snow globe within reach. I mean, I don't have a lot to complain about. You know, when we're all extinct, I think that's going to be the big thing that aliens will look at one day, you know, that they'll find. They'll unearth is snow globes, and they'll try to figure out what the fuck they meant. You know, they probably think it was some sort of power source. They hovered their hands over it.
I'm out of it. So this is going to be a rough one. And I'm plowing through this. Even if it fucking sucks, I'm not stopping it and re-recording it like I did last week. Because that ended up getting me in trouble. That's how I started talking about that Dr. Laura shit last week. And I got to say, for the first time, maybe the second time ever, I'm nominating myself as douchebag of the week. Because last week I actually supported Dr. Laura because I had no fucking idea who she was. And, you know, I was having a rough time doing the podcast. I needed some fodder. Somebody sent me an email. What do you think about this? And I watched like a 10-second clip of evidently a 5-minute clip. And I just thought she was imitating something she saw in Def Jam. So I was like, well, she's quoting it. She's not calling anybody that word, but the and all that bullshit. And then, Jesus, the fucking emails came in from, evidently, from my 14 podcast listeners, evidently like 6 of them are African-American. Yeah, they read me the riot act in different stages. And I got to admit, they were fucking right, because you know something? My uninformed logic is usually funny, that I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, and I go off on shit, and I realize that race probably isn't one that you should probably do that on. I didn't know that she was like Rush Limbaugh with a cunt. I had no idea. I just, you know, I didn't know who the fuck she was. Thought she was some soccer mom with a podcast, you know? And she was like, all the crazy kids out there are fucking blah, blah, blah. I had no idea. So, all right, fucking eggs on my face. But anyways, yeah, so I got fucking trashed. I took a little heat off of Mel Gibson, I bet. But he got a couple of less fucking hate mails last week. So I apologize. I don't know who she is. I'm not going to apologize for my stupidity. But in the future, when it's something, you know, race-related, I will try to be a little more informed. All right? Well, I got to find this fucking email where this guy fucking trashed me. You know, he said, let's see. He goes, it starts off good, just trashing me, which I totally get. He goes, just like in your bit you did about the Jimmy the Greek thing, it's best for white people to just leave it alone. Dr. Laura may be old, but she's aware enough to know what happens to white people when they say the N-word or bring up racial supremacy theories. See, that's the part of the tape I didn't watch. I showed up late to that rally, you know. By the time I showed up, they'd already put the cross out, you know. Everybody's hoods, they took them off. It was a hot day. I didn't know what I was walking into. I thought it was like a fucking, you know, AA meeting or something. You know, we're all over by the table having donuts. It's my fault. I came in late. So anyways, he said the podium comes out. So I'm surprised you defended Dr. Laura in this case. That's what I got a lot of. I'm surprised you defended her. Because I watched 8 seconds of the tape, because I'm a moron. I don't understand why there's any debate about why any debate about racial inequality always comes down to comedians and Def Comedy Jam. I don't think it does, but evidently in your world, maybe it does. I've heard this argument before. Well, black comedians say this and that about white people and say the N-word. Why can't I? Is it fair for minority comedians? And all that shit. I'm trying to get to this part here. So then he was talking about this documentary he saw where some comic was saying, making a joke. This is actually a good joke where white people are like, why can't I say the N-word? And then the dude was like, oh, it's Chris Rock. Well, why do you even want to say it, right? Great fucking joke. Totally makes sense. And then the punchline is, I've sailed the world. I've fucked Raquel Welch. If I could just say the N-word, my life would be complete. And then this dude writes after that, he goes, I think that it bothers white people because you're not used to being told that you can't do something. White people used to be able to do and say anything they wanted. Now there's all these rules. Isn't that fucking, that part of the email, that's where it just went off the fucking rails for me. You know what I mean? It's like, I totally get it. She's a fucking idiot. I didn't realize it because I watched that short little clip. I shouldn't have support that shit. And you're offended by that, which I totally get. And then in the end, you make some dumb generalization about white people. See, we're all the same. We're fucking morons. Jesus Christ. I've sailed the world. Fuck Raquel Welch. See, that part's the joke. But this here's what he writes. Bothers white people that you're not being used to being told that you can't do something. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we just run around doing whatever the fuck we want to do. It's great. Jesus Christ. That's one of the great stereotypes, is that we're all Kennedys living on fucking Martha's Vineyard rather than fucking, the majority of white people. Aren't the majority of white people sitting in cubicles, not living their dream, drowning in a sea of fucking debt, trying to get health insurance? Isn't that the majority of fucking white people? Evidently not. Evidently, according to this guy. White people have yachts. Sailing the world. All 300 million of us. Did you see it during the Gulf War, the Gulf spill there? That was one of the biggest problems. All those white people, all the 300 million white people with our fucking yachts just sailing around. Oh, it's so awesome to be white. You can just walk, you can do and say whatever you want to do. It's fucking incredible. That's an argument I've gotten into with I think every fucking, female comics, black comics, they just go, yeah, it's easy for you. All you got to do is show up, man. Oh, yeah, that's all it is. I don't even audition. I just lay here, and they call me up. And I'm like, why did you give me that part? And because you're white. Here you go. You don't have to work for shit. That's that class. That's that fucking double standard right there. Okay, now we're opening a whole nother can of worms. Let's talk race for the next couple of weeks, people. This ought to bring out a lot of ugliness. That's that classic fucking, that's one of those statements, if you flip that thing, what you just said there, that generalization that you made of white people, that basically we just sit around and people just give us shit and we can do whatever the fuck we want to do. You're basically going to define us by the Illuminati. If you flip that around and somebody white says that about another race of people, then they're in like a Mel Gibson situation. All right? Now, I'm opening this up for discussion. I'm not opening this up for fucking rednecks to come on here and be like, yeah, that's what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm not saying it like that. You know what? I like that this podcast is this difficult. Now you guys can relate to me. You're sitting there in your goddamn cubicles on a fucking Monday. Unless you're white, of course, you're out on your yacht, chatting it up with a Kennedy. Hey, when's the stock market going to crash again? Give me the heads up. Don't tell the Puerto Ricans. That's what it's like. That's exactly what it's like. There's not white people working farms, slaves to corporations. Nah, not at all. Not at all. All you do, you don't have to get up. You don't have to get up. I spent 9 years in bed just because I was white, and they just fucking hilarious. I made more money then than when I worked. That's how great it is to be white. It's so fucking easy. And thank God for people who aren't white, who've never been white, to tell me what it's like to be white. It's fucking awesome. Let me tell you something about being white guy. This is how good it is. Oh, yeah? What are you, reincarnated? Was your name Frank in another life? Is that a white guy name? I don't fucking know. All right. So anyway, so I've pissed off a bunch of people, and this week I felt fucking horrible about that. Even though I've been kind of a cunt again this week. That's what I do. You know, you came back, didn't you? You know, I don't know any better. I'm just a white guy laying in bed. I can't remember the last time I've had disappointment in my life. It just doesn't happen. Just doesn't happen, you know. You know, sometimes the sail on my schooner will break, and I'm just like, oh, Jesus Christ. And then I call the government, and I say, hey, can you send me another one? They're like, wait, and what color are you? I say, I'm white. They go, oh, there you go. Right on the way. You know, I agree with the first half of the email of this guy I'm making fun of, but I would love to send this guy my fucking taxes. I really would. All right, so there you go. That was my roundabout apology. No, seriously, I really felt bad about that. I felt like an ignorant ass. And rather than just immediately come on and apologize, I left it up there for the week so I'd get my nice pounding from everybody. And yeah, you know what I mean? I fuck around. I say a lot of fucked up shit, but I'm trying to start your week off right. I'm not trying to piss you off. Although there's probably a lot of women out there who would fucking disagree. But, you know, it's comedy. You know, people get hurt. That's how it fucking works. This is the worst apology ever. But it's coming from the heart. All right, so go fuck yourselves. That's how we got to end it. All right? I grew up with no hugs. So if I'm trying to be fucking nice, it has to end with go fuck yourself.